What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Boo TV. Thank you for watching. Thank you for clicking on that video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let's talk about the boy tmac, a.k.a. Tracy McGrady. Check me out, yo. I had to do this video. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time because it upsets me because people really forget how elite of a scorer Tracy McGrady was, and not just how elite of a scorer tmac was, but how elite of a ball player, all around ball player Tracy McGrady was. By his fourth year, he left the Toronto Raptors and joined the Orlando Magic. And from that point on, he skyrocketed. His career took off. The minute he left from under Vince Carter's shadow, his cousin left from under Vince Carter's shadow, you saw what Tracy McGrady could have been all along. Just like a lot of players around that time. There was a lot of young players, not a lot, but there were some young players that just didn't get the ability to shine. They just needed their own team. And you can see what their potential was, but until they were able to be given that opportunity, could they show what they were capable of. And tmac was one of them. And he made you know, he let you know very quickly how elite he was. See, people forget. Before there was Kobe versus LeBron for the best player of the league, it was Kobe versus tmac for the best player in the league. Not just best scorer, best player in the league. That was the discussions on every network. That was the discussions on every newspaper, every magazine, every high school, every middle school, every elementary school, every college, every workplace. It was Kobe versus tmac. People forget that. It wasn't Kobe versus Iverson. It wasn't Kobe versus Vince Carter. It wasn't Kobe versus Shaq. Well, it was Kobe versus Shaq for another reason. It wasn't Kobe versus Duncan. It wasn't Kobe versus KG. It wasn't Kobe versus Paul Pierce, Steve Francis, Allen Houston, Grant Hill. No. It was Kobe versus tmac. That is how elite Tracy McGrady was. And when he left the Toronto Raptors and hit the Orlando Magic, there was no looking back for him. And unfortunately, I think one of the reasons he's been so quickly forgotten is because his prime really didn't extend past 8 years because he had chronic back spasms that would even bother him in his prime when he would miss some time and come back. But as he got older, it put him out the game. The back spasms put him out the game. And it's unfortunate because Tracy McGrady potentially, in my opinion, probably would have been a top 10, top 15 player of all time had he been able to continue his prime longer, if not due for his chronic illness, for his back spasms. No question in my mind that tmac would have been top 10, top 15 all time. That's how great Tracy McGrady was. And you don't have to believe me. You can go watch the video footage. All right. Especially that, I think it was that 2001, 2002 campaign or 2002, 2003 campaign. One of those campaigns, he was lighting it up. I think it was like 32 points per game. And him and Kobe were, one of those years, him and Kobe were going back and forth. 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 30, 40, 50, 60, 50, 40, 40, 30, 40. They would just be like one-upping each other every other day or every day. Now, I remember I had the newspaper. I grew up in the Orlando area. So, I'd see all the Tracy McGrady and Orlando Magic stuff in the newspaper. I remember I had the newspaper up, and it was a Kobe versus tmac newspaper with all these question marks. Like, what are we going to see next? What are we going to see next? Who's going to win this shootout? Who one of these two are the best players in the league? Which one of these guys are going to get MVP? None of them got MVP. No, single one of them got MVP. But those were the debate. Those were the two most prolific players in the game. Those were the two most dynamic players in the game. And I loved when they would face off, the Magic versus Lakers, because those two would go at it, bro. They had some epic duels. Man. Mac was that shows you how elite Mac was, bro. Not only was T-Mac an elite scorer, but he was an elite playmaker, passer, and a mediocre defensive player. He was never elite defensively. But let's talk about his scoring. T-Mac had the lazy eye, dude. It did not look like he was even trying. T-Mac looked baked. T-Mac looked high as hell. T-Mac, you would swear T-Mac wasn't even fully awake when he'd be out in that court. He had the lazy eye. And I swear the dude wouldn't even sweat, dude. It'd be halfway through the third quarter. And dude's not even sweating. Out there giving your team buckets, bro. Giving your team buckets. Making it look easy. 1 defender, 2 defender, 3 defenders. Didn't matter. He just made it look so effortless. So effortless. And people forget, T-Mac was 6'8". Long, lanky 6'8". So while KD, Kevin Durant, is about 6'11", 7 feet, 6'8" is still pretty long. Especially being a perimeter player, especially back then. Most of the people that tall were at the 3 or the 4. So because of T-Mac's ability to cover the entire floor with shooting guard and point guard skills, sometimes he would be matched up with smaller players at the shooting guard position to be able to at least try to keep up with his mobility, whereas most 3 or 4s couldn't. And he would just rise up over them. Give them buckets, dude. I'm not lying. Buckets. You don't have to believe me. Go watch the tape. And people forget, before Steph Curry, T-Mac was really the first player pulling up 2-3 feet behind the line. I know Curry does like 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet behind the line, but I'm talking 2 to 3 feet behind the line. T-Mac would pull up with that on the reg, with regularity. I remember watching him. He'd just be coming down lazily, bringing the ball up from the backcourt. And I remember how he would pull up. I remember exactly how he would pull up for his jumper. He'd do a little of this. Sometimes he'd do like a half crossover with the right hand, do like this, and then just rise up, and then buckets. I'm telling you, 2 feet behind the line, just pulling up nothing but water, dude. And there was nothing you could do about it. Absolutely nothing you could do about it. The dude was nasty. Pure shot, stroker, shooter, clean form. 1 defender, 2 defender, 3 defenders, it didn't matter. Especially when he would fade away at 6'8" with long arms. And not only was T-Mac a ridiculously good 3-point shooter, and I'll tell you what, if T-Mac played in today's league with the emphasis on and the amount of 3-point shots that players take these days, T-Mac would average 38 points in today's NBA. I don't doubt that for a second. With his ability to shoot the 3 ball, and not being a scorer that's timid, he gives off this demeanor that he's timid just because of his lazy eye and he's emotionless. He can be so lacking of emotion. Sometimes that looks like he doesn't give a fuck, but he's kicking your ass and he's aggressive on the offensive end. Make no question about it. No question in my mind, T-Mac would average like 38 in this NBA. No question. I know what I saw. Not only that, T-Mac was extremely effective with the mid-range game, right? He could play in the post. He could play with his back to the basket, mid-post, low post, right? Left foot, right foot, leaning, left, right, hedging, body contortion. Left hand, right hand, spread the floor, cover the lane. Exceptional mid-range player, exceptional in the post, and great footwork. Great footwork, especially back then. The players at his height couldn't do the things that he was doing. You see that it's more of a common thing now in the NBA. But back then, hell no, ain't nobody was doing what he was doing at 6'8", bro. Not like that. And then at the cup, T-Mac was an elite finisher. Left hand, right hand, reverse, and he will dunk on your ass. An elite dunker. Left hand, right hand, two-handed, alley-oop, Didn't matter. Tomahawk, didn't matter. People forget T-Mac was in that 2000 dunk contest with Vince Carter and Stevie Francis. And had Vince Carter not been in it, T-Mac could have very well won that dunk contest because he did some pretty damn good dunks himself. Some pretty damn good dunks himself. Like I said, elite at the cup. Could do anything. He could cover the entire floor. He was a legitimate threat and demanded a double team at all times. And sometimes that didn't even matter. There wasn't an area on the court where Tracy McGrady could not operate. Could not operate. Not only that, but T-Mac does not get credit for being an elite passer and playmaker at that. T-Mac had great court vision and was a willing passer at all times. He would throw some passes and I'll just be like, God damn, what? Wow. Wow. And he didn't even have like really, really good solid help for his tenure with the Orlando Magic. Remember, his running mate was supposed to be Grant Hill, but Grant Hill was always injured. Barely got on the court together. So he was running with people like Gordon Gierczek, Drew Gooden, Pat Garrity, Darrell Armstrong. I think Darrell was still around for a little bit. What was that one guy's name? I can't remember. I can't remember the roster. I think he even had Jock Vaughn. I think he might have had Jock Vaughn at some point. Deshaun Stevenson, I think he even had at one point. But no all-star level talent. And when Dwight Howard got there is when T-Mac demanded the trade because he didn't want to wait for a young player to develop. Little did he know, just a couple years after that, Dwight Howard would be in the NBA Finals. If he would have, T-Mac never got to the Finals with the Rockets when he left to the Rockets. So that didn't work out too well for him. But I mean, it is what it is. What it is. But yeah, McGrady extremely talented all-around basketball player. And like I said, a mediocre defensive player. But the dude was arguably the best player in the league for a couple of those years in his prime. And that was a legitimate debate, man. And people forget about that. And then even when he went over to the Rockets, he still played at an elite level for about his first 3 years with Houston. He was still somewhere around 25 points per game. But then his back really started acting up. And then after the back spasms really became a problem, by his 4th year with the Rockets is when he just plummeted. He was never the same. Funny story is, before he got drafted, the scouting report was basically that they didn't think McGrady, because of his back problems, would even last more than a couple years in the league. So he actually overperformed his clinical diagnoses for, his potential, his health potential. A lot of people don't know that either. So from the point T-Mac was traded to the Magic, because he did about, I want to say 4 or 5 years on the Magic. McGrady had about a solid 7 to 8 years of prime basketball. And that's not bad. But I truly believe that Tracy McGrady, had he not dealt with the chronic back illness and the back spasms, no question in my mind that T-Mac would be a top 10 to 15 player of all time. He was that good. He was that elite. And you look at his prime years, man, he was able to average 30 plus points, I think 1 or 2 seasons. I think it was just one season. That season he averaged 32. I think it was just that one season. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But, but even besides that, he was 25, 26, 27, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 for those other, 6 to 7 years in his prime. And when he put up 60-something points against the Washington Wizards, I think that was in 2004, he dropped 60 plus on Gilbert Arenas and the Wizards. He could have, and that was our first 60-point game that we had seen since Shaq, I believe. But that was our first one from a wing scorer in God knows how long. Probably since Mike, and I could be wrong. Probably since MJ, I could be wrong, from a wing player. But T-Mac could have had 70 in that game, bro. Really, he really could have had 70. He gassed out. He lost his legs. I think he had hit the 60 point somewhere near the end of the third or beginning of the fourth, and he kind of just flamed out. He was exhausted. But he could have had 70 points then. Giving him work, bro. Mac was stupid good, and people need to, a lot of people really weren't watching. A lot of the youth today that watches basketball never got to see him play. And then even some of the older people probably didn't start watching basketball until maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. They don't know what T-Mac was capable of. I know. I watched basketball since the 90s, and I know what I saw. And T-Mac was that guy. T-Mac was absolutely that guy. And you know what? You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe me. But we're going to watch some highlights together. Remind y'all how good. Now, he has a lot of mixtapes out there, so I wish I could just play all of them, because we could sit here and watch 4 hours of T-Mac being phenomenal. But we'll try to find something that shows a mix of what he was able to do. See what we got. So this first video here is from none other than Maximilian on YouTube. Makes great basketball videos. It's called Never Forget Tracy McGrady's Best Season, 32 points per game in 02-03. Let's check it out, man. And I'll just kind of skip through this one. It's 45 minutes long, but we'll just kind of skip through it. This dude makes the best basketball videos, bro.
Of course, when you got McGrady at the end of that, Spiro,
look at that. Effortlessly.
McGrady
Bang.
falling away with his second field goal. Here's McGrady.
Fade away.
They run Jefferson off a screen ability. Even if they're defended well, he'll jump over the top.
Come on, man.
Oh, Tracy McGrady has the answer. He has yet to miss on 4 field goal attempts. 9 points. It's at 3 points for Andrew DeClerc.
Pump fake. Mid-range. Look at his stroke, dude. So effortlessly.
It's 20 seconds. McGrady falling away, and he gets them by Orlando. Here's Vaughn very quickly in the open floor. And he dishes.
Catch him on that tomahawk, 2-hand. Back to the basket, post, face up. None you could do. Y'all don't have to listen to me. Watch the video footage. I ain't making this up. Look at this. Look at this. Crossover. Leaning.
First 2 points on the afternoon
Buckets.
for Collins, but McGrady turns him right now. He has 28 points. McGrady turns around a double.
Baseline reverse. 28 points, third quarter, not hard. Left hand.
Still maintains control.
Left hand.
Shot clock turned off. Scalabrine over
Screen.
on the defense. T-Mac has him now isolated.
Look at this. Look at the ball handling. 6'8".
Up and under off the. But the story, 3 quarters complete, has been.
Mac was a problem, bro.
6 for T-Mac. Trying to build on an 8-point lead. McGrady has 36. Pulls up. Shot clock down to 4. And the last bucket,
dude,
he just sized up Lucius Harris's shot. Offense has been quiet, Spiro.
Look at that. I told you. He was the first guy. Just pulling up. Just pulling up. No problem. Casually just walking to a three-pointer. Foot and a half behind the line. Again, foot behind the line.
That'll be the 6th foul.
Dude, he would do this with regularity for his entire duration of his prime. On Mike. On MJ.
There in assists and rebounding. Phil, he's 23 years old.
It's a scary thought.
23 years old.
Magic lead the all-time series against the Wizards 35-20.
Broke Mike without even dribbling. Didn't even dribble. That's just footwork.
McGrady turns. He is unbelievable. The Wizards have their largest lead of the evening, 4 points. McGrady again, and he is unbelievable. Christian Laettner is the leading rebounder on the Wizards.
Pass on that occasion.
Season-high 10 assists to stack against Boston.
Dude, I tell you, the dude was unstoppable. Like I said, similar to Kevin Durant, he could just raise up and shoot over you. And like I said, his mobility, look at that. killing it, killing Michael, man, killing Michael. And Michael is only 6'6", so like I said, they would have to put shooting guards on him sometimes because look at this, 3 feet behind the line. Am I making this up? He would do this with regularity. Again, am I making this up? Am I making this up? 2-3 feet behind the line, just pull up, regularity, ease. Before Steph Curry was doing it, it was Tracy McGrady, dog. It was T-Mac, bro. Put some respect on this man's name. One-handed slam.
Coming up with that miss. McGrady, great crossover to the glass. Boy, tough pass. Detroit could have picked that off, but nobody was looking.
Bang, bang, boogie.
From the baseline. Have some fun.
I ain't making this up, bro.
Yeah, the back gets a little bit looser. Out of transition.
I ain't making this up. Y'all know me, man. I keep it funky and real here. Pay respect to the people that don't get the respect. The ones that people forget.
The shot clock spins and loses. Richard Hamilton that battle to lose ball. They'll have a much better chance the second.
T-Mac was that guy.
Curry working on McGrady. His jump shot was a rainbow. I was able to get there and make him change his shot, and he went from having an easy layup to difficult. The turnover. McGrady wants to put her on the floor on Curry, then comes up, shoots over.
Boom.
This is the problem. Once you allow
We've seen him shoot the long ball. We've seen him shoot the mid-range ball, high post, low post, to the rack. Look at this. He was unstoppable, bro.
This morning I saw Coach Rivers. They said, hey, you know, how was your Christmas? He says, well, I'm really tired.
Ball handling nasty.
He said,
McGrady with it. Robinson tries to stay with a great screen by Armstrong.
Bro, fast forward to some other. How far was that? How far was that bomb? About a foot behind the line.
Denver averages 19 turnovers per game.
Look at that. Bang. 3-ball, baby.
The very top free agents available.
4 feet behind the line. 4 feet behind the line. Am I making this up? Let's take it back. In case you didn't see it. 4 feet. T-Mac was the first guy doing this, bro. I ain't making this up. Look at this. Look at this. With ease. Before Steph Curry was goddamn Tracy McGrady. What? Behind the back. 3 feet behind the line. Bang.
McGrady's got the youngster on it. Johnson.
I'm not making this shit up, bro. And like I said, he don't get enough credit, bro. Boy, I haven't even talked about his Houston Rockets. Like I said, he only had about 3-4 solid years with the Rockets before his back went out on him. But did I even talked about his that fourth quarter against the Spurs where he had like how many points and how many seconds? I can't remember. Was it 12 points and 13 seconds? I don't know. We'll look it up. All right, so it was 13 points and 33 seconds. Sorry, I've forgotten more than I remember. I know so much basketball. Anyway, let's take a look at his 13 points in 33 seconds against the Spurs. And you can see it's 42 seconds on the clock, and the Houston Rockets are down by 8 points.
Get that play correct out of the timeout, and Popovich obviously upset with Manu.
Come get the bucket. Come get the bucket. Mwah. All right, still 78-71. 30 seconds left. Behind the back. And one. Both Adidas athletes. Both Adidas athletes.
By McGrady, you'll see the screen by Yao Ming, which forces Duncan to help, and he just draws the contact and somehow gets it to go. Incredible shot by T-Mac.
16.2 to go in the fourth.
That's going to come off a screen. Right there, Yao Ming. Got the ball. Extremely hard pass.
points. They've outscored the Spurs 14 to
Look at
6.
that hard catch.
Well, they almost didn't get the ball in. And now
By today's NBA, that would have been a foul.
How does he hit
That would have been a foul.
Not wanting to pick up the foul. And McGrady amazingly somehow gets it to go. It's a 2-point game.
And a good job by Andre Barrett. They had no timeouts left. Close to a 5-second
All right.
count.
11 seconds left.
So 11.2 to go.
Down by 2 are the Rockets.
Now clinging to a 2-point lead. They've led by as many as 11. Yao Ming on the inbounds. Trying to make things difficult for Brent Barry. Gets it in. Kevin Brown.
Lost the ball.
Here comes McGrady.
And Mac.
McGrady for the win. 7 to go. With no timeout. Here's Parker. And the Rockets steal a game from the Spurs.
Woo! That boy Mac Daddy. Look at him. What the hell just happened, bro? What the hell just happened, bro? Y'all don't have to take it from me. Mac had about 7 to 8 years of prime basketball as an elite player, as a top 3 player during that span. No question about it. Show some respect. Show some respect to Tracy McGrady, tmac. And when you put it in a capsule, when you look at his prime, you take all the players and remove their years where they're figuring it out, and then remove their years where age and attrition catches up with them. T-Mac has had one of the best primes we've seen, and from a scoring aspect, even more so. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't believe in T-Mac then, do you believe in him now? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one. We out.